back to my channel. We're about that breaking cycles life. Today is Friday. I actually didn't do one yesterday because I had something to do very early in the morning. So yeah, but we're here, and this you'll see in the last Thursday of this month, right, of November. So yeah, happy end of November to you. So we are going to head into another scripture, another um, principle that I learned from the Bible. Yeah, it's actually in many stories, but I chose to use this story. Um, it's from 2 Samuel 12, and it's verses 1 to 15, right? Well, you can read the entire chapter if you want, but I'm going to focus on the first four verses because of what I want to bring to you, right? So, the entire summary of this chapter is Nathan and David's encounter, Nathan the prophet and David the king, right? This was after he had taken Bathsheba as his wife, or after he had slept with Bathsheba, Uriah's wife, and then killed Uriah, right? So um, apparently he had no guilt about what he did. Yeah, and oftentimes when we are going through our trials, or whenever we make mistakes or yield to temptation, in the moment of yielding, we often don't think about others because temptation and sin is selfish, right? So we only think of our own gratification, all the sorts, right? But I really love how God arranged this or orchestrated this, because He sent Nathan, and this is why we should be very wise as Christians when we step out into this world on a daily basis, right? Nathan was really wise in how he approached the king. And I'm going to read it for you, and then we'll get into why and how we can practicalize living out Bible principles in our world today. So it says, 2 Samuel 12, verses 1 to 4, it says, Then the Lord sent Nathan to David, and he came to him, and he said to him, There were two men in one city, one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceedingly many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing, except one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished. And it grew up together with him and with his children. It ate of his own food and drank from his own cup and lay in his bosom, and it was like a daughter to him. And the traveler came to the rich man, who refused to take from his own flock and from his own herd to prepare one for the wayfaring man who had come to him. But he took the poor man's lamb and prepared it for the man who had come to him. Right? And if you are familiar with this story, you know that David got furious at the rich man for what he did, because it was utterly selfish for you to take from someone that had less than you, and you had every capability to provide for this foreigner, right? And David got upset and pronounced judgment on pronounced judgment on the rich man, when Nathan flipped it on him and said, You are that rich man. And then he did some introspection and realized that he really did wrong, um, in regards to Uriah and Bathsheba, right? So, and you can read the rest of the chapter to see what was the consequence of this sin, right? Guys, but what I really want to focus on is how Nathan approached the king. We have to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, right? Because in approaching the king as a prophet, you dare not, you dare not disrespect him, because that could be your life in a second, right? But God impressed upon Nathan's heart to approach him in this way, and this is what I want us to learn from this. When we were going about our daily lives, I had to learn it too, because oftentimes I'd probably be killed in front of the king, because I'm very blunt. right? And I told you guys already, warrior Shanik. And when I'm angry, I don't care, I just speak my mind, right? But I think God has been teaching me that, Shanik, change your approach in how you handle things, right? And it's not to say that with every single situation I just get angry and lash out. But when I realize I'm getting too much of a fight, I'll definitely push too hard, which oftentimes doesn't necessarily go in my favor. Sometimes it does, not every time. Right, guys? So I want us to learn, you and myself, to learn the practical principle behind this. Whenever we are faced with a trial or with an obstacle, we ought to realize that not everyone understands the way we do, right? And even if they do have some background, because David is a servant of God, and it was the temptation that he yielded to that made him forget what he was already taught, right? So this is why in the church you'll find people that stray from God because they yield to temptation, right? And how is it that we approach them to bring them back to God, or to cause them to look within themselves and repent? How is it that we are going to approach them? And we need to take lessons from Nathan the prophet. We assess the situation beforehand, and then we approach the individual or individuals, whether they be in the church, already having a knowledge of God, and they're just defiant, or they are outside of this, they are outside of the church, definitely like atheistic, agnostic, or just utterly defiant against anything moral. We have to assess the situation of how to approach them. And now there are various things that we can do, because I really love how Jesus approaches many situations while he was here on earth. Like in certain situations, it required him to be blunt and fight against, fight in words against the Pharisees and their thinking, right? Because it was just utterly wrong. And then in some cases, like the woman who was caught in adultery, of course she was wrong, right? It's obvious that she was wrong. But how can he, as a just God, look at her, condemn her, and then not realize that, okay, all the other kids, especially the ones that brought her to him, are also sinners. So he cannot compare to say, okay, this one is better than the other, right? And that's how we should approach it. Like, okay, yes, I know this person sin. Each and every one of us sin. I'm also a sinner. So am I going to look at them and be like, why, right? And I've done this before. I look at them, I'm like, why? Why would you think? Why would you think to do that? You already have sense to that. Like, I would never do it. And not because we sin differently means that we're better than anyone, right? So I fall into that, and I want us to get to the mindset that, okay, we're all sinners. This person sinned differently from me, so let me just look at it and be like, okay, fine. They still have learning to do in this area, just as though I have learning to do in another area of my life, especially my spiritual aspect, right, guys? So approach it in that way that, okay, show them what the right way to, what the right thing to do is, right? And that's exactly what Jesus did while he was here on earth. He showed us what was the right thing to do, right, guys? And we should apply that in our lives. Trust me, certain situations will drive you crazy, drive you to the point of frustration, and you'll lash out. And that's what the devil wants. But if we learn to control our anger, if we learn to just be humble in every situation, people looking on and seeing how you handle them and how you handle the situation at hand will definitely be impressed, and at some point will be converted and look within themselves. And that is how we can be like Nathan. If you want to use parables or allegories to reach to someone, let them be the third party in their situation. Let them look on it. If you're that strategic to build a whole story, just like Nathan, and cause them to look within that story and see, and then you can turn it around and be like, yeah, but you did the very same, right? If you're that strategic, please be wise as a serpent and do just that, and be harmless as a dove, because you would have caused them to see within themselves, right? Likewise, if you're not that strategic, show them in the life that you live and just be like, this is that, this is that. And you will never know the impact you will have on people. Trust me, some people will say it, some people won't say it. This impact may have effects probably 10 years from now. You never know. But in living the Christian life, let's be practical in this way. Let's love the ones around us, especially the ones that hurt us, or we see that they're utterly disregarding the moral principles of the Bible and God. Just let's ask God for patience, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to approach life in a practical way with people that are defiant to Him, or people that have slipped off the road every now and then because of yielding to temptation. So yeah, I hope that Bible principle that we learned today can be applied to our lives. Be humble throughout all situations, guys, and just be tactic in how you approach every situation, because one wrong word can definitely mess up an opportunity that you'll be seeking for, right? So let's just look within ourselves and be as smart as Nathan to be tactic in how we approach our life and the people in our lives. Okay, guys, so yeah, that is our encouragement for today. I hope you guys have a great day. It's Thursday, so you know what that means. It's Trivia Thursday. So stick around and we'll find out what today's trivia question is. Okay, guys, so have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, it's Trivia Thursday time again. Today, our trivia question is: listen, it was dark, scary, and slimy. Can you imagine being in there for 3 days, then just spat out as if you're nothing? Can you guess who our Bible character for this week is? We'll find out on Sunday. Bye bye, have a great day.
Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's encouragement, and I hope you guys are ready for the day ahead. Now do me a favor and press that like button and subscribe button if you are new, so that we can get more of this positive Christian content out into the world, okay? And I'll link my daily devotional playlist right here and my Let's Talk playlist if you want to tackle some social issues, okay? So have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.